robot. We did some kind of superhero. Let's do something a little bit more like an animal or something like that. Now, I'm just going to start by just doing some kind of shapes. I'm not sure what animal I'm going to start with. Like, I'm already feeling like this is kind of feeling bird-like, but I would suggest staying away from birds because of the feathers. Could almost be bear-like maybe. Let's see if I can get this brush a bit thinner. It's almost bear-like. Got some kind of bear. And now we can start thinking about eyes and head and stuff like that. Really, yeah, it could be like a koala. I don't know. Disgruntled koala. Maybe. A really kind of angry koala. Or do we go bigger eyes? Big giant eyes. Angry, hunchy koala? I don't know, that looks koala-y. Kind of koala-esque. I don't know if that's what I wanted to go with this. I'm going to save this one. We're going to come back to it maybe, or maybe not. I'm going to erase this. So again, you know, it's all about exploration, right? Don't feel like you have to commit to a specific, don't feel like you have to commit to a specific design. Maybe the head's up here. It's kind of a nice shape, right? This kind of shape is kind of neat. I'm going to put the ears just on the top here. Big lumbering bear. Now he's not a very big bear, so I'm going to make him bigger just so that it doesn't, I have room, so I'll have room to do stuff here. And we just have to decide, you know, is it going to have one big unibrow? Is it going to have two brows, little tiny eyes? Right, little eyes there. That's kind of neat. Right, oh, that's kind of cool. He's got a bit of a chin. And we can figure out his stomach area here. Right, and maybe he'll have like a little sidekick, like a kind of scary Yogi Bear or something like that. Just gotta remember though, when we're doing this, shoulder, elbow, wrist, they have to be equal, right? Between these things. Like I can have longer legs longer arms, shorter legs, but the distance between, say, the hip knee, and ankle needs to be, again, equal, right? So that's something to think about when you're designing these things. So indicate a little bit of the ankle and the knee and stuff like that. Yeah, that kind of works. Some chubby cheeks. Now we can't do hair and things like that, so this would have to be more just solid shapes and things. For the nose, you know, I might go a bit more of a color maybe. It's kind of cool. Yeah, that kind of works. And I wonder if I can pick something in between for. That's where I might go in with a different color and just fade it down, just so that there's a little bit of a transition there. Right. Just a little bit of something. And then I can go a bit darker under the eyes, maybe. Let's go back over here. Cool. All right, well, that was easy. Do I give him clothes? I don't know. I could give him clothes. That was too fast. Anyway, let's do a little sidekick first, and then we'll figure out the. So we'll go with the same kind of color scheme. I think the sidekick's gonna have some big eyes. It's gonna be a bear too, but a bear that's been stunted growth bear. Now they do have to feel like they're in the same family, right? Like the same universe, basically, right? So I'm gonna have to do, you know, maybe some more colors, or I'm gonna go a different layer for this one. And I think I said bigger eyes, so let's see what happens. That's kind of fun, right? Cool. And I want little claw feet. Little tiny claw feet like this. And same with his little tiny claws. And I don't think this one's going to have pupils. I think I'm just going to, let's see if he does. Little tiny psychotic pupils, maybe. You know what? I don't want that big one. It's almost like a Frankenstein's monster of a bear. So I don't know if I want him having pupils. Okay. Do I give them clothes? I mean, I could do something. Or maybe they're just bears. They're in the woods. Alright, these guys are going to be a bit more plasticky, right? Like soft plastic, vinyl, or something like that. Vinyl toys. I think that's how I'm going to state it, because I do want to render these out and see what they look like. Realize, because we can't use fur, right? So, alright, so I got my bears. That was pretty straightforward. Alright, so let's see what these guys end up looking like. So I'm going to pause here for a second. Okay, so instead of doing a 3D render, this time I wanted them to be a bit more like a vinyl toy, and it did a good job with that. I'm really surprised that it did as good of a job as it did, to be honest. And There we go. A couple more characters. Now, am I super happy with the colors of these? Yeah, I don't know, right? This is where we could go in and we could start playing around with things like Control U. Maybe we can go into our hue saturation, right? Maybe I want, green bears, or I want them to be a little bit more, fuchsia or purple, right? So we can kind of play around with these to give them different colors. Blue bears, just kind of like my blue robots. I know something about blue. And so again, or I give one color, and I could go in and give the other one a slightly different color. Like this guy, I can give him maybe a different shade of green. Just so that they're a little bit more unique. So it doesn't have to be bear color if they're bears, right? We can play around with this quite a bit. But anyhow, I'm going to end it right here, and hopefully these 3 videos have been somewhat informative, especially if you aren't really familiar with character designing. It's really just kind of playing with the shapes and exploring the interior once you have a cool silhouette, and then proof of concepting it with the Gemini. The Nano Banana seems to really be a good idea, because now I can see if it works, and now that it's 3-dimensional looking, I have something I can work to a little bit more effectively. So it's less guesswork, especially if you're new to modeling. So that's a good thing. So I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Cheers.